I'm going to show you in this video just how to attach frill and scallop and the binding. If you need to know how to do it from the start and how it all goes together, then what you want to do is pop on over and watch the pumpkin video. So let's get started on our beautiful princess basket. First of all, you want to cut out the scallop, so we can cut that out first. It is cut out on the fold actually, so you want to put that onto the felt, and I would suggest that you actually do pin it because the scallops aren't so easy to cut. I shy away from all pinning, but here it really is advisable. So pin it all really well and then cut it out, and since that takes a while, we're just going to skip it and go straight on to the next step. Now I have sewn all the way around the scallop because I think that's really nice. It gives it a bit more structure, it makes it a bit more durable so it can't catch anywhere as well. And then I've got my netting. Now the netting on the pattern says 16 centimeters long, and that's fine. I got, somehow Joanne gave me more than I've actually told her to do, so I folded it in half and then used that as one, but later on I'm actually cutting it off. So you want to just gather the top edge here, and this wasn't really that brilliant with that fold, so ignore that. Just do 1 or 2 layers of 16 centimeters and then all the width of your netting, so you don't really need very much. Pull the under threads and then gather the whole lot. You want to gather it so that it fits on the scallop, so put the scallop on top just to check, and when that's about right, we can carry on here with our basket. The basket, of course, you get in the other video. It's here finished. I've done a lining as well, and I'm just attaching it together at the very rim. If you just want to do the standard lining, then you can watch the pumpkin video. I show start to finish there of how that works. Here I want to do binding on it, and it would be just way too thick to turn that all in. So do it all the way around the rim, and when that is done, we can move on to the next part that goes on, and that is my netting. And you can see it's way too long. Cut it all off later, so my measurement was right there, 16 centimeters, perfecto. Anyway, I'm going to the other side so I know how much to hold it in, and then I just distribute evenly all the way around. Next, I'm just putting the scallop straight over the top of this, pin it in at one end, and then I would just move the other side all the way around and pin that in as well, because it will feel like it's way too small otherwise. That's just the nature of fabric and felt generally. So move it all the way around, put them so they overlap just slightly, not a centimeter or anything, just so they overlap, and we're going to sew those together by hand later, or you could do it on the sewing machine before you put it on, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So now we're going to put it all on. Make sure that the netting doesn't slip down. Mine actually did that, so that's not so fun when you have to unpick it. So all the way around, sewing it. And now I'm going to prepare my binding. Obviously you can use these ready-made binding things. I didn't because I actually cut my binding too slim, and so I abandoned ship there. If you cut it the right width, you could just use one of those. Now I'm doing my own style of binding. It's 2.5 centimeters wide, but I would say do 3, because as a beginner I think that would be way easier for you. So 3 centimeter width, perfect. And then we cut that out. And just in case, so I don't end up having not enough, I place that over and then cut it again, and I'm just going to sew those two together. And naturally you always have that slanted edge of them, so you find the edge that makes it perfect. There we go. Fold one down, right side's facing, and then I'm going to sew across that. Next I can just iron in one side a little bit, and again it doesn't have to be a centimeter here at all, like just so you could sew it on with these, that's all. Mine is probably just under a centimeter, and then I'm going to just stitch that from the inside so it can roll to the outside. So place your binding on here, and then I'm just going to go all the way around there with presser foot width seam allowance. And once that's done, you can see here the little bit under, I folded in. Not that that's really necessary for like a princess basket, but I just wanted it to look really, really nice for my photograph, so I did that. Now this is really awfully thick to just roll it over, so the best thing to do is to cut that back really, really sharpish all the way around. And now I can roll it to the outside and pin it into place. And now I'm just putting that over the sewing machine arm and sewing it. And once that's done, I just trimmed off the net because I didn't really like it. You know, it was way too long. So just stick with what's on my pattern, the 16 centimeters, perfect. I've also put some embroidery on the handle, which I think is very, very cute. And I'm just sticking the handle under in the same way that we did for all the baskets that haven't been lined. Or indeed, if you have a sewing machine that is a little bit, you know, doesn't transport very well, that's the way to do it. Now I'm just making a little bow. I've actually got a bow video for you that you can access through the description. There's a link to that video. And then I can sew it to my basket. And I trimmed it off the side as well, as you will see in a minute, because that was too big. Just took any old rubbish, just gathered it through the middle and put something around it, and that was it. And then I just fold this over so I secure it from the underneath. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the sides off to make it look all perfect. Fluff it up a bit, you know. And there you go. That's the basket done already. It's absolutely gorgeous. And of course, if you want to see how to put the actual bag together, that's in the trick or treat goodie bag sewing video. And then we've got that special video showing you how to do applique if that's what you wanted to do.